Well, if you're a Creedence Clearwater fan, you recognize that intro, "Who'll Stop the Rain," one of their all-time iconic tunes. So I'm gonna do a deep dive today into this song. It's in the key of G, and I'm gonna break it down from the intro to the verse, and then there's a little middle section, and then it goes out with the intro again. But what I'm also gonna show you along the way, there's a couple of licks of John Fogerty, who he has like a way of doing like a genius arrangement of his tunes that it just really grabs a hold of you. All his little licks, you know. And I'm going to include all those in the lesson and get into the whole strum pattern and the groove of it. So starting out, I start out with a G chord. And I'm doing this G chord here, which is like the big cowboy chord where you got your pinky and your third finger on the two high strings, 3rd fret. And then the rest you just 2nd finger, 3rd fret, 1st finger, 2nd fret on the A, second finger, 3rd fret on the E. So that's the G I choose to use on this song. I like the sound of it. And then what it does a walk down. Now if you're not able to, you might not be able to pick up that low F sharp. So what it is the chords are G, D, E minor, and you can do it any number of ways. Whatever's comfortable for you. One way just to be like this, and then to a straight D, E minor, and back to the D. That's the rhythm of it. Now, if you're able to, you can pick up that low F sharp on your way and hit a D. Several ways you can do it. This D. If you do a D like this, you have to instead of doing it this way, in order to get to that F sharp, you got 2 ways to do it. You either put your thumb over, like that, that's one way to do it, or if you want to use your index finger, you got to move your fingers and do your 2nd finger, 2nd fret, G string, pinky, some of you might be difficult, on the B string, 3rd fret. Don't worry about that high E, we don't need it, and grab that F sharp note with your 1st finger, your index finger. That's another way to do that. So it's basically a D chord with an F sharp in the bass, okay? So again, you can be like this, see that? Or like this. Depends on what's comfortable for you. If neither one's comfortable, don't even fret on it, because in the song the bass hits it, it goes. Okay, so here's the intro in its entirety, and here's how it sounds. Simple. Don't worry about the bass. That's fine. That's okay too. So now we got the intro. Okay, does that twice around. Then it sets up the first verse. Now the first verse is different than the other 2 verses. Okay, and I'll tell you why in a second. But the first verse is dead simple. Starts out, since I could remember G to C. Rainbow coming down, stays at the G. Clouds of mystery pouring to C. Fusion on the ground, back to C. Good man through to G. Ages C. Trying to find the sun, back to G. C. Still I wonder, up to D. Still I wonder, E minor. Who'll stop the rain? You get back to the G. On that one, you rest back on the G. So once again, let me go through this slowly with you so you got it. So the first chord is a G chord. Then do your C. Now again, I'm doing the big cowboy chords here, which I like with a Creedence sound. So rather, you can do this C here, if that's the one you know. You might consider this one though, by taking that 3rd finger and putting it on the 3rd fret of the low E, and then tuck your pinky underneath it on the 3rd fret of the A, you get a fuller chord. What I like about that version of C is you don't have that pesky open E, which is part of the C chord. It sounds a little wonky, doesn't it? So I would suggest, why not do it right? So you got that big cowboy G, and then, so here's the timing of it. Same thing again. Back to C. C to G, flowing right along. One more time to the C, up to your D, and then E minor. Stop the rain. Okay, that's the feel of the first verse. That's the changes of the first verse. This is the reason I mentioned that is because it changes a little bit in the next verse. And before I get into there's two licks that he does in the song. One is, and the other one is. But before I get into that, I just want to go through the song itself and the arrangement so that we can play all the way through it. Then we can add the embellishments, which are simple and really cool. Second verse. I went down Virginia G, C, shelter from the storm. G, B minor, C, G, back to C, G, C, G, still I wonder, C, D, stop the rain. Okay, so you'll notice, let's go back and make sure we got that second verse right. So the second verse, the way it's different is it adds one chord, a B minor. If you don't know it, it looks like this. That's the one and only place that it happens is on the verse, the second and third verse actually, but it adds a lot to it. So let me slowly go through that second verse, okay? So it's, I went down Virginia, seeking shelter from the storm. And here's where it goes to change. To B minor, C, watch the tower grow to G. Now it goes back to the same changes as the first verse. Back to C, wrapped in gold and chain. Still I'm up to D, still I wonder who'll stop the rain. Don't worry, I'm going to get to that lick in a little bit. I want to finish the song first. Now we have something that happens only one time in the song. It's like a little middle eight section, and it's what breaks up the second and third verse. It's a nice little setup. So it does that, who'll stop the rain, and then it does a quick change, C, G, D. So quick change, C, G, D, and then A minor, C, E minor. A minor, C, and then it taps on the D. Okay, let me take it a little slower for you. So it's like in slow motion. Then A minor, C, E minor. So that's the way it moves. So I'm doing it in time now. Change breaks up the song nicely. I think I call that a middle eight, and the last verse is exactly the same form as the second verse, so it does have a B minor in it. Okay, the last verse sounds like this. Birds sing and playing, I would cheer for more. Crowders rush together. There's that B minor. C, trying to stay warm. Back to the C. Kept G falling, C falling on my ears. And I wonder, C, D, yeah, I wonder who'll stop the rain. Okay, what happens there is we go back to the intro, right? Who'll stop the rain? Same chorus as the intro. So the song ends the same way it begins, with that little intro. So keep in mind, this song it has a pretty brisk rhythm. It's right in there. It's a driving rhythm, like a driving rain, right? It's funny because I know this song has lots of ramifications. It talks about 5-year deals and, you know, what is it, 5-year plans and new deals wrapped in golden chains. That actually speaks to, you know, going down to Virginia to, you know, to get caught up in the fable. But the other part of this particular song that grabs me is, I know Creedence Clearwater played at Woodstock, and man, if you know anything about Woodstock, the rain came pouring down. And I'm not sure if they got caught in the rain or not, but I always imagine Creedence Clearwater, John Fogerty getting inspired by the whole Woodstock festival and the rain and the crowd cheering for more. In fact, I think I've seen a video of them playing at Woodstock over this song. So now what I want to do is, since we're doing a deep dive on this song, and it's such a great song, I love this tune. I play this song, I've been doing a gig on a boat out here in Maui, and this song always gets a lot of enthusiasm. People sing along and they love it. So if you're playing with friends, whether it's around, you know, home or around the campfire, actually, this song works really well. So now what I want to do is take this apart a little bit and show you the licks that happen in the song. And these particular licks are kind of flexible. They can happen anywhere. But the way he does it, he does this little lick where he goes, okay? And that sets up the G chord. It happens quite a bit in the song. And I'll give you an example. But first let me show you the lick. So it's a slide up on the G string. You slide up from the 2nd to the 4th. So there's lots of ways you can do it. You've probably heard that lick before. It's like a 7th lick. And then a pull off. So the first one goes, and then your 2nd finger picks up the 3rd fret, the D note on the B string. So, and then a pull off on that G. You keep that on the 4th fret. Pull off. So here it is in slow motion. And you can see how that flows right in. It folds right into the G chord. Sets it up, doesn't it? So if you hear in context of the intro into the first verse, it would sound like this. That's the intro, right? And here comes the lick. And you're into the singing. So it's, since I could remember, the rain came pouring down, and so on. So now you know how that little lick sort of leads you into a verse, and it happens on pretty much every verse. The other lick I want to show you that happens, I think the first time it happens on the 2nd verse, where it goes, I went down Virginia, sheltered from the storm. What was it? Caught up in the fable, watched the tower grow. It goes like this. Okay, that's the setup for the C chord. What that is, I call these partials, and the reason I call it a partial because it only incorporates 2 notes at a time. I've shown this to you guys on like Brown Eyed Girl. Really handy, and the pattern works on pretty much any major chord. So it's a partial, and what it does is it goes up to the 7th fret, and you slide up on the G string with your 2nd finger, and then you pick up the high E 7th fret. And that is actually, if you took it apart, theory-wise, it's a G chord, but it's only a partial. Okay, that's why I call it a partial. Cool little chord tone. And here's how it works in practice. So it's a slide off. Same form exactly, right? 7th to 5th. If you don't know this little pattern here, it's really helpful, and we use it a lot in songs like this. Like I said, it's all over the place. But back to this one, it leads you to that. So I'll show you how that works in context again. So it's a Virginia, seeking shelter from the storm. See how that works? Use it in lots of places. To get warm. Sorry. it sets it up? There's that lick again. So as far as I know, the only other lick that happens in the song of consequence is in the intro. He goes, I think he goes like, there's an electric guitar that does that. So the rhythm's going, and then electric I think goes something like, and then I think it does it again. So that repeats. And as far as I know, other than little hammer-ons within the chordal stuff, which I'm going to show you before I leave, that's pretty much the song. And the only thing to remember about that song is, you got an intro, you got the first verse that does not include the B minor. That's important to remember, which I think is cool because he builds it up. Second verse, third verse, kind of takes it down to that, just rolled in from Nazareth. Got that cool 60s, 70s sound in there. So that's basically the song, Who'll Stop the Rain. I'm going to play all the way through the song, and I'm even going to try to sing it all the way through for you. All right, here's me playing Who'll Stop the Rain. I'm going to put my own special sauce on it, spice it up as I like, but I will include everything that I taught you there, all the little licks, everything else. And let's see what happens. Here we go. As I remember, the rain been pouring down, clouds of mystery pouring, confusion on the ground. A good man through the ages, trying to find the sun. And I wonder, yeah, I wonder, who stopped the I went down Virginia, seeking shelter from the storm. Caught up in the fable, and I watched the tower grow. 5-year plans and new deals, wrapped in golden chains. Still I wonder, yeah, I wonder, who'll stop the rain? Birds sing and playing, how a cheerful morn. Crowd rush together, trying to keep warm. Still the rain kept pouring, falling on my ears. And I wonder, still I wonder, who stopped the rain? Who stopped the rain? That's Who'll Stop the Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival, featuring the one and only John Fogerty, just a monster songwriter, singer, player. All the best stuff coming out of him. So thanks for listening, and thanks for checking this out. I hope you enjoyed that and you got a good takeaway from it. I'll see you down the road.